So let's talk about something that feels like the holy grail for anyone with a website. Is free website hosting actually a thing, or is it just a total myth? Today, we're going to break down a system that claims it's not only possible, but it's a reality. Let's dive in.
You know that feeling, right? You look at your bank statement and there they are again. Those monthly hosting bills, the platform fees, all those little charges that just bleed you dry. It's this constant financial drain that most of us just kind of accept as the price of being online. And for some people, it's a lot. Take this number, $297 every single month. And that's not some made-up number. That's a real-world figure for what some folks pay for tools like ClickFunnels and their WordPress hosting combined.
I mean, that adds up fast. We're talking over $3,500 a year. But what if you could just make that go away? What if you could take that money and put it back in your pocket? The review we're looking at today explores a system that promises exactly that, a monthly hosting bill of $0.
Okay, so how on earth is that even possible? Well, the first thing you got to know is this isn't what you think it is. It's not some cheapo hosting company with a gimmick or a super limited free plan. Nope, this is a totally different way of thinking about it.
And right here, this is the most important part. This isn't a company you sign up with. It's a method you learn. The whole system is basically a course that teaches you how to tap in to the same super powerful worldwide infrastructure that giant corporations use, and you get to use it for free. The secret is all about a special kind of website.
The magic behind this whole thing is something called a static website. Now, stick with me here. The easiest way to think about it is like a pre-printed book. All the pages are already finished, sitting on a shelf. When someone wants to read a page, you just hand it to them, instantly. It's not like WordPress, which has to run to the back room and assemble the page from a database every single time someone visits.
And when you put it side by side with something like WordPress, the difference is just, wow. Look at the left side. Static sites are blazing fast because there's nothing to figure out. They're super secure because there's no database for hackers to target. And that means basically zero maintenance. Now look at the right. WordPress is slower, it's a constant target, and you're always updating something, right? Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds a way too techy for me, but check out how simple the workflow actually is. Step 1, you build your site with a visual drag-and-drop builder. No coding, promise. Step 2, you click a button and boom, it's live on these free big-time platforms. And step 3, well, there is no step 3. You're done. No more updates, no more security headaches. All right, so that's the how. It sounds great in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? The review we're digging into did a 90-day test, and frankly, the results for performance, security, and especially the savings, they're pretty mind-blowing. Let's look at the proof. Just look at these performance scores from GTmetrix, a perfect 100% for a lead magnet site, another 100% for a restaurant website. Even a photography site that's loaded with images scored a 92. I mean, people pay a ton of money for premium hosting to get numbers like these. When you average it out, these static sites were a whopping 3 times faster than a typical WordPress site. In a world where every millisecond counts for Google rankings and keeping visitors happy, that is a huge, huge advantage. And then there's the security side of things. The review basically calls it the unhackable advantage. Think about it. No database to break into, no sketchy plugins with backdoors. You can just say goodbye to all those WordPress vulnerability warnings. The weak spots are just gone.
And of course, this is what it all comes down to, right? The money. $3,492. That's the potential savings in just 1 year for someone paying a pretty average amount for their tools. Imagine what you could do with an extra $3.5 grand.
Okay, I get it. This all sounds a little too good to be true, doesn't it? Free, faster, safer. So what's the catch? There's always a catch, right? Well, let's pull back the curtain and look at the fine print.
So here's the deal. The hosting itself is free forever, but the knowledge on how to do it isn't. You have to buy the course to learn the method. And yeah, there's a bit of a learning curve. Plan on spending a couple of hours getting the hang of it. It's also not for every single type of website out there. If you need a complicated site with user logins and stuff, this ain't it. Oh, and you still have to buy your own domain name. That's not going away.
But here's a different way to look at it, which I think is really smart. You're not just buying a thing. You're making a one-time investment in a skill that lets you kill off a recurring fee for, like, ever.
So, that brings us to the big question. Is this actually right for you?
To figure that out, let's put this system head-to-head with the usual suspects.
This chart just lays it all out, plain and simple. Look at the monthly cost column. 0 versus, well, not 0. Performance and security, huge wins for this system. But here's the trade-off, right there in the last row, learning curve. It's moderate versus the low of something like ClickFunnels. That's the deal you're making, a few hours of your time for massive gains everywhere else.
So who is this perfect for? Well, if you're just plain sick of paying monthly hosting bills, this is for you. If you're a blogger who wants a faster, safer site, an agency trying to save clients money, or a startup on a tight budget, you're going to want to pay close attention.
But let's be honest, it's not for everyone. Who should probably skip this? If you're building a complex web app that needs user accounts, this isn't the tool. If you absolutely hate the idea of learning anything new, or you literally have zero time to spare for a couple hours of setup, you're probably better off sticking with the traditional options.
But for the people it is for, the impact can be massive. I mean, just listen to this quote from Michael, a digital agency owner. He was paying almost $300 a month. Now he's keeping an extra $3,564 every year in his pocket. That's a game changer.
And really, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Is putting in a few hours to learn something new worth saving thousands of dollars year after year for the next decade? When you look at it that way, the answer seems pretty clear, doesn't it?